Charlie Chaplin was born in London into abject poverty, so he lived the life of the tramp that would later become his signature character to make him a superstar. When Charlie Chaplin was just 14 years old, his mom was put into an insane asylum, and he had to fend for himself on the streets of London. In his early years, he joined an acting troupe. They went over to the United States of America, and in the year 1914, he got scouted for Keystone Studios. In just 4 short years, he developed the character of the tramp and became a household name by the year 1918. In 1919, along with Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., D.W. Griffith, he formed United Artists. His first feature at United Artists was the film The Kid in the year 1921. He followed that up with A Woman in Paris, Gold Rush, and in 1928, The Circus. Now, while he was working on City Lights, talkies became a thing. He had some pressure to turn City Lights into a talking picture, but he balked at that idea, and it was released in 1931 as a silent picture and was still quite successful. He followed that up with Modern Times, and then in 1940, The Great Dictator. At the end of that picture, he broke character and talked about anti-war ideas and fascism. That's when he started getting political, and his public and some of the government did not like that very much. His troubles began in the 1940s when actress Joan Barry, whom he had an affair with, filed a paternity suit. The head of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, who didn't like his political leanings, made sure this trial went to court, and it was a huge scandal. In fact, the last scandal was in the early 20s with Fatty Arbuckle's murder trial here in Hollywood. After that trial was over, Mr. Chaplin married Una O'Neill, who was Eugene O'Neill's daughter. She was 18 years old, and he was in his late 50s. But he said that this was a perfect love, and in fact, they were married for the rest of his life. In 1952, he made the motion picture Limelight. Fun fact, it was the only time that he made a little cameo with his fellow star, Buster Keaton. Now, he went over to London for the premiere of that movie, and he made a premonition that he might not return to the United States, and he was right. The Attorney General refused his re-entry because they thought he was unpatriotic. You see, he'd never become an American citizen. He only made 2 more pictures in his life. In 1957, he made A King in New York, and in 1967, he made A Countess from Hong Kong. That starred Sophia Loren and Marlon Brando. He spent the rest of his life re-editing his pictures and recomposing music for them because, fun fact, he also was a composer. In the year 1958, the 8 prototype stars were laid down for the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, Charlie Chaplin Jr. filed a lawsuit because his father was not included. They took his name out because of his political views. The lawsuit was settled, the Walk of Fame went forward in 1960, and Mr. Chaplin did not receive his star until the year 1972. It still was without protest because the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce received some nasty letters. Also in the year 1972, Charlie Chaplin returned to the United States for the last time. He received an honorary Oscar at the Academy Awards. He got a 12-minute standing ovation. Bob Hope said, "We were lucky to live in his lifetime." This is Todd Pickering for Walk of Fame Wednesdays. I will see you next week in Hollywood. And A Countess from Hong Kong in 1962. There's an outtake.